caught the bottom of this thing right here, man. We caught the bottom of AMC. We caught the move on the stock. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Way Up Trading, and couldn't be more excited to start to see the movement happening on AMC. We obviously are at the end of the month. We haven't yet gotten full confirmation of what's happening, but the excitement is building as we predicted it would. They dragged this thing all the way out to the very last moment, today being June 28th, and now we're sitting here at the $4 level looking to make the reversal. Volume started coming up toward the end of the day, and we actually wound up pushing and filling the upside gap that we had created after the drop on the news from the most recent news about the reverse stock split conversion. I'm gonna take a look at the chart to see exactly what we got going on for the next couple of days out, what I believe this is going to head to, and how the pressure's starting to build in order to make the upside move that we want to see happen finally. All that and more right after this.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And this would be our net profits.
Yikes.
All right, I got everybody's favorite chart pulled up here, the AMC chart. This is the 1 day time frame, just taking a look and seeing how things are going. And you can see right here, just gonna move in a little closer. We are, like we've been talking about several different times, we have that triple bottom setup such as we've had in the past on a much smaller scale here in the more recent times here. This is actually pre-January 2021 squeeze. Triple bottom setup is playing itself out in almost a repeating pattern here on the more recent time frame ever since the beginning of 2023 and now going into summertime months. We haven't even gotten the news specifically yet, so this can be a little bit premature. However, the excitement, as I mentioned before, is building around the stock, and we understand that the move is going to be coming. Now, do need to keep our heads on the swivel, like I like to say, being that we don't know how things can end up turning out with the stock. So do be careful on picking up your calls. If you are going to play the options game, pay very close attention to how news can play out and make sure you're hedging your positions as much as you possibly can, because anything can happen. We do know that volume has been drained out. We can take a look here, moving a little closer on the volume profile here. You can see we finally are now, as of today, above the signal line on the daily chart, and now have gotten our second green day in a row. Well, first, yesterday was just a touch of that line. This is a little small touch of the line. Today was an actual full break of the moving average on volume, which is a huge, huge sign. We have not been above this moving average since about the beginning of the month, when we had our last slight run up to about $5.15 before being sent back down, and sent down further after the news that occurred with the reverse split information. We have since been playing this upside. At the beginning of the year, we've been playing this ascending level of support here. Rather than having a full and complete triple bottom, the $4 level has been a very, very strong support, and we are now in a situation where those buy orders that were sitting there protecting and have basically overpowered the short sale side, and there's a lot of capitulation on the seller side to try to push this thing down. We obviously have seen there's utilization. If you have been paying attention to what's going on with the stock, utilization has now officially dropped for the first time since the beginning of January. January 11th, I believe, was the first date, sitting at about 91% utilization, when we've been at 100% utilization for over a year. After that drop, you can take a look here and see that the price moved substantially after the drop in utilization. Right here, where we got our first big push for the next couple of days, which equaled a 68% run from bottom to top. Sitting outside of the Bollinger Band, you can see here the blue shaded area shows after we had the reverse split news more recently. We dropped out of it and spent 1, 2, 3 days outside of this area. Very unlikely for AMC to normally do that. One of the first times ever it spent that long out of this area, out of the regular trading area, and we can see the reversal. Everyone's calling BS on the move, and started stepping in, buyers started stepping in to push this thing back upwards. We basically finished up today filling in the upside gap that we had from the fall, hitting one of our targets roughly about 448, 451, and also the midline of the Bollinger Bands, as well as just about the midline of the super macro descending broadening wedge that we talked about on several different occasions on the channel. Nice move, very nice move. Volume on the day was actually pretty decent. I want to see more volume start to pick up, and I want to see harmonic buying starting to happen on this volume setup, almost like a stair-stepping volume on a daily basis. And I'm looking to see anywhere between, as I mentioned in the last video, I'm looking to see anywhere between 60 to 100 million in volume, 100 million shares traded in the next couple of days to really confirm that this thing is on. I don't see it actually running above $5 this week. We were able to snag calls basically at the bottom roughly at about $4.15, about $4.20, somewhere around there before the move took place. Moving in here into the smaller time frame, this is the 5-minute time frame. And we can see that we were riding this smooth moving average all day long, barcoding left and right until the very end when volume came in just at about 3 o'clock, just a little before 3 o'clock, when volume started to come in, caught the pop. And I mentioned to everyone in our trading group, Way Up Trading Group, that this thing is going to start to move. And it had played out a particular pattern, the descending broadening wedge on the hourly time frame, smaller time frame, basically confirming that it was going to make the move that we wanted to see. We got all our crosses. They pretty much all happened at once. If you weren't paying attention for the last couple of days, you may have missed some of those key things that were happening on the stock RTA wise. But if you were paying attention and just in position with this news and understanding the hype that can come out of this thing, you may have been able to get yourself in position, whether you bought extra shares or whatever the case might have been. This is the time to do it, in my opinion. Again, not financial advice. I'm never gonna tell you when to buy or sell. However, opportunity is available and has been available for the last couple of days. Once that volume came in here, roughly at about the 3 o'clock hour, and the sell-off happened, and we got a retest somewhere about the $4.21. That was the time to enter into the play, and that's game time from there. We got that initial volume pop, came back down to about that 421 mark, and then it was on from there. I entered my calls in here, 4.5 calls with a 9-cent average. Those calls went all the way up to about 177% value. Huge move. Was able to trim and hold on to some of those contracts, basically took all the risk off the table. It's going to be a free ride and then some all the way up for the next move. But again, I don't see this actually hitting $5 in the next day or two into Friday, obviously, because they want to control the movement on the stock as much as they possibly can. So I'm expecting them to most likely drop it in order for us to not have those calls go into the money and moving the stock faster than what they're able to control. Huge area to break is $4.60, which would be the super macro descending broadening wedge. That would be us breaking back out of that and now starting to make our way back towards the more recent, the daily descending broadening wedge. So this is the super macro once again, this yellow top line, which was there since the beginning inception of AMC stock. We are now zooming in here. We are now testing the underside of it and looking to break that. Once we break that area, we are now going to start testing and trying to break the $5.35 mark at some point in time, hopefully within the next couple of trading days, to start to break this area. This again is the more important line in the more recent times. Every time we've touched this line, we've been halted and then sent back down very aggressively. If we can go ahead and break this area, break this descending broadening wedge line, which is roughly lining up with the 48 EMA daily chart, our next targets are roughly at about $6.13, which is the key level that takes us out of the macro spring region that we've been talking about this number for quite some time. But that's where we need to get out of in order to turn this into get us out of accumulation and now into a possible last point of support area, which I hope to be somewhere around the $8 mark, just underneath the smooth moving average sitting here. I do see us potentially touching a $9 mark here, $9.19, which I've been calling for quite a while. We may most likely get that touch, wick back, and then hopefully find support in this area. Depending on the news, depending on what happens, they're going to control this thing as much as they can, controlling options flow, which moves the stock the way it moves. Just taking a look here at the 30-minute time frame, you can see that we have this rejection here right off of the smooth moving average that we like to use. It also lines up with the downtrend. This red line is the downtrend from the more recent falling wedge on the daily time frame. We keep talking about this particular area. Also, that is an area that we're under and we're trying to break out of. But 30-minute time frame looks like it's now holding off of the 9 EMA, a very important EMA to hold on to in order to build momentum for the next potential push up. It would be considered a new reaccumulation, a new push. We can start to play this next level roughly around the 450 mark. Again, I'm seeing most likely a top here at about 484 within the next couple of days going into Friday. We may possibly go even a little higher, touching the 5, but I don't expect us to go and break $5 and hold $5 going into the new week. We may get a wick, a rejection, come back down, most likely hold around this 485 mark, start the real push somewhere in the next coming week. I'd say more so into Friday, going into possibly the 7th of July, which is the next Friday. However, be careful if you are playing calls, making sure that you are taking your profits along the way, trimming contracts, making sure that you are pocketing some profits. However, because of the fact that they are going to play a lot of games with this thing, they are going to move it in a fashion where it is very erratic, up and down, to play with emotions. Being that the EMAs and SMAs are very tight, the motion can happen very fast, aggressively, and very violently. So be careful with your position. Awesome time to get in. Pay attention to what's happening within the broader market as well. The SPY is in a very crazy location. We're going up and down in crazy moves. A lot of shakeouts are happening left and right. So do pay attention to what's happening with the rest of the broader market, because it can have an effect on how AMC plays out. I'm still leaning bullish on the market overall. However, they can and have done so on several occasions in the past where they will short the market in order to keep these types of stocks down. GME is looking awesome, and I know it's a fear. GME is looking like it's ready to start to make some crazy moves as well, holding above monthly levels and weekly levels right now, looking like it wants to go and make a move towards the $33.40 to $35 mark, $36. Like, it's insane. I mean, GME got a 921 cross on the weekly chart and is sitting on the monthly chart ready to break the 21 EMA. Huge area to be in. You don't see this in a lot of stocks. There are some stocks that are right now moving like this. We picked up several different ones. We've called them out, made tons of money already on these things. I've gone long on them, shares, you name it. When they do, one makes a move, the other one makes a move, because a lot of the same hedge funds that are short for both companies. And one is weak, the other is weak, and so on. So keep a lookout for these two stocks. Keep a lookout for what's going on in AMC in particular. I do see a lot more positivity coming out with this thing in the next few days. Congratulations, you've been able to hold on. It's been a crazy ride, but our time is coming. Like I mentioned before, educated investors are going to be the ones that are going to be rewarded, and that's basically what we try to do here on the way up. To join us on the way up, we're going to be here every single day, growing our portfolios together, making the outcome income for 2023. Like, comment, subscribe. Consider joining the Way Up Trading Group. Link is down in the description below. If you're not following me on Twitter, make sure you go and follow me there. But until next time, we'll catch you on the next video. Peace.